Hello everyone. I am so happy to see you again. I'm just putting on my apron here. In this episode, I want to show you the big makeover that my garden received yesterday. Also, we need to plant out all of the bell pepper seedlings that you and I started from seed in late February or early March. Today is May 20th, so it's definitely time to plant the peppers. But before we head outside, I think we should make a sweet treat that we can enjoy for afternoon tea. We are going to make a cream cheese pound cake. And the recipe comes from one of the many cookbooks that a very kind viewer sent to me last week. This is called the White Lily Cookbook. So my oven is preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. The recipe says to grease and flour a 10-inch tube pan. I have these bundt type pans. This one is kind of small. It's probably the right capacity. This Nordic ware tube pan is a bit larger, but it's a better quality. So I think I'm going to use this today. And of course, the easiest way to grease and flour a cake pan is to spray it with some brand of baking spray. Baking spray contains flour. Actually, I'm going to hold off because I read somewhere that you should not grease and flour or spray the cake pan until right before you fill it. Then I need 1.5 cups or 340 grams of butter at room temperature. I'm going to weigh mine out. 339 grams. We'll call that good. I just reread the recipe, and we are going to need 3 whole honking cups or 600 grams of granulated sugar. I know. So in goes the butter. I'm using my stand mixer, which is outfitted with the paddle attachment. This cake is obviously not for folks who are on the keto diet. And then I need 8 ounces or 226 grams of softened cream cheese, because it is a cream cheese pound cake. And then we are to beat this for 1 minute at medium speed. Spoiler alert. This cake turned out beautifully. I will definitely make it again and again. Gradually beat in the sugar. Continue beating until the mixture becomes light and fluffy. Now we need to scrape down the bowl. I have to tell you, this batter so far looks very luxurious. I'm very tempted to lick the spatula. I'll be good. Next, we need 6 large room temperature eggs, and we are going to add them one at a time and beat well after each addition. Now we need 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and the recipe asks for a ½ teaspoon of almond extract. I don't have that, so I'm going to use strawberry extract. Well, I'm glad I did not go with that smaller bundt pan, because this seems to be making a lot of batter. Now we need 3 cups or 390 grams of all-purpose flour. And I am going to weigh this out. And to the flour, we add a half teaspoon of salt. Fold flour mixture into butter mixture just until combined. Do not overmix. So I guess we have to do this by hand. When you fold, you plunge your spatula straight down, and then you scoop up the batter on the bottom of the bowl, and you bring it up to the top. So down, around, and up. The goal is to deflate the liquid ingredients as little as possible. And we did beat a lot of air into that butter and cream cheese and egg mixture. Now I want to spray my bundt pan with baking spray, which again contains flour. Now we can add the batter to the pan. The directions tell us to put the cake pan on a baking tray, and then this goes into the preheated oven until a skewer inserted into the cake comes out clean. It's going to take about 1.5 hours. I'm going to clean up my workstation, and then we can head out to the garden. I want to show you the work that was accomplished here yesterday. This area of my property was previously a black-topped parking lot. I removed all of the asphalt about 18 years ago and planted a boxwood garden there. To save money, I grew almost all of the boxwood from simple cuttings. I planted the cuttings to create hedges. Yesterday, this boxwood garden received a rather dramatic makeover. 2 talented gardeners sheared and shaped the hedges. I am very happy with the work. I should add that when you propagate boxwood, you typically end up with more plants than you need. I use the surplus to frame my blueberry patch and other gardens on the property. Boxwood retains its green color through even our harshest winters. It is an enduring shrub. So here are the bell pepper seedlings. You and I grew these from seeds. The variety is called California wonder, and I'm going to see how they perform in my New York garden. And I wanted to show you this little gadget. It's for square foot gardening and has little holes to show spacing for seeds and seedlings. Now, bell peppers require 1 foot of space.
This seeding square is very useful to those of us who want to plant high-density vegetable gardens. You can press the square into the soil to make a grid. You can even jump on it. It is very durable. I can link the square in the description below if you are interested. Many viewers have asked about my irrigation system. My contractor set this up for me. Each bed has an on and off valve that controls the flow of water through soaker hoses. I use a timer to turn the system on and off. I always give newly transplanted seedlings an initial soaking by hand.
Well, this little gadget worked out very well, and I have used it for spacing seeds. It comes with a guide that tells you what the spacing should be. Let's say for celery. For celery, you would use these yellow holes, and this is it's called the dibber, and you plunge it through the hole to make a hole, and then you plant the seed. And it gets you to not think in terms of planting in rows, but in terms of planting in square footage. It feels great to have all of these bell peppers planted. Let's go check on our cake. This cake smells just fantastic. It smells of vanilla and strawberry extract. I'm going to let the cake cool in the pan for about 10 minutes, and then we can unmold it. I just had a thought. While the cake is cooling, I think we should make some rhubarb sauce or rhubarb compote that we can serve over the cake. So I have roughly a pound of fresh rhubarb here. I'm going to trim it. Then we can roughly chop the rhubarb. Let me grab my little burner so we don't have to move the camera over to the cooktop. Rhubarb sauce is about one of the most delicious condiments in the world, and nothing could be easier to make. All you need is the rhubarb, 2 tablespoons of water, and a half cup of sugar. Here are my 2 tablespoons of water. And half cup or 100 grams of sugar. And then stir until the rhubarb softens. And just like that, our compote is done. That only took 10 to 15 minutes. Now we can unmold the cake. This cake is demanding an aqua blue cake stand. Say a prayer. Voila! I think this turned out beautifully. And let me just show you the picture from the cookbook. I don't mean to boast, but I think my cake turned out even nicer than the cake in this professional photograph. While the cake and the rhubarb compote are cooling, let's make a quick trip to the local garden center. I want to buy some San Marzanos before they are all gone. So take a drive with me.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
Here at Semascot Garden Market, I purchased 1 early girl and 6 San Marzanos. San Marzano is a paste-type tomato, meaning its moisture content is low and its flesh is very meaty. It is great for sauce. Are you guilty of impulse purchases too? I bought yet another pelargonium simply because its pale pink flowers appealed to me. We can enjoy these blooms outdoors in summer and indoors in winter. Pelargoniums make fine houseplants.
We are home again. I was lucky to grab those San Marzano tomatoes. And now our rhubarb has cooled sufficiently, so I want to decant it to a jar. I almost wish I had doubled this recipe. Rhubarb compote is tart and sweet, and it's just screamingly delicious. Let's brew some tea, and then we can have tea and cake in the music room. While we wait for the water to boil, I do want to cut a slice of this cake so we can have a look at its interior. It's gorgeous. I could not make up my mind which tea I wanted to serve with this glorious cake. I'm going to serve Irish breakfast tea. And I have already warmed my teapot. Let's dive into this tea and cake. I have been waiting all day to try this cake. Rhubarb compote. Chin chin. This cake is beyond delicious. It's moist and dense. Of course, it's sweet because we put a considerable amount of sugar in the batter, and that compote just takes the cake over the top. I will put the recipe for both the cake and the rhubarb compote in the description below. As it turns out, Irish breakfast tea was the correct choice for this little tea time treat. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day in order to spend time with me as we toured the newly coiffed boxwood garden, and we planted all of those bell peppers, and we shopped for San Marzanos. And what else did we do? Well, we made this incredible cake and this super delicious rhubarb compote. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. I can put a couple of my other videos at the end of this one that you can enjoy between now and my next upload. Until then, please treat yourself extra well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.